Let's start it with our first news. Daniel Cormier has revealed new and important details about Magomed Ankalaev's injury ahead of UFC 320, shedding light on what really happened behind the scenes. According to Cormier, the now former UFC light heavyweight champion entered his rematch with Alex Pereira far from full health, battling a serious rib injury that had been troubling him for weeks. Ankalaev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, initially broke the news shortly after the event, stating that his fighter was not at 100% going into the octagon. Soon after, a video surfaced online showing Ankalaev receiving injections in his rib area just weeks before the fight. The clip quickly went viral, sparking heated debates among fans about whether the injury was genuine or perhaps being exaggerated as an excuse for his loss. Some even speculated that the injury might have occurred mid-fight after Pereira landed a series of brutal elbows to Ankalaev's ribs while on the canvas. However, Daniel Cormier, a respected voice in the MMA community and former two-division UFC champion, has stepped forward to clear the air. In a recent video uploaded to his YouTube channel, Cormier confirmed that the injury was indeed real and severe enough that Ankalaev's own team advised him to pull out of the fight entirely. Magomed Ankalaev did have a rib injury. This is not a lie and it's not an excuse, Cormier emphasized. I know this because before the fight, I personally saw a video of him getting injections into his ribs to help him make it to fight night. Cormier went on to explain that Ankalaev's training camp was significantly affected. The Russian fighter could only hit pads and perform cardio drills for nearly a month and a half leading up to the bout, with limited ability to engage in full sparring or grappling sessions. Despite the physical setback, Ankalaev refused to withdraw. He wanted to fight Pereira again because he knew how important that rematch was for his legacy, Cormier added. Having 2 wins over Alex Pereira would have been a massive statement for him as a fighter and as a champion. Still, Cormier admitted that even if Ankalaev had been completely healthy, the result might not have changed given Pereira's dominant performance that night. He wasn't 100%, Cormier said, but even at 120%, it's hard to say if the outcome would have been different. Pereira fought a great fight and did what needed to be done. Cormier's comments highlight both Ankalaev's toughness and the risks fighters take when they choose to compete through injuries, a decision that can define careers for better or worse. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. During the UFC Rio Fight Week, lightweight contender Mateusz Gamrot found himself in the middle of one of the most intense and passionate atmospheres in all of mixed martial arts, the Brazilian crowd. As Gamrot took the stage for his media workout ahead of his highly anticipated clash with former lightweight champion Ciryl Gane, he was greeted by a deafening chant that has become infamous among foreign fighters competing in Brazil. Vai morrer. The Portuguese phrase translates to "you're going to die," a chant that Brazilian fans have passionately directed toward non-Brazilian fighters for decades. It's not meant as a literal threat, but rather as an expression of national pride and a reflection of how fiercely Brazilians support their own. Still, for many visiting athletes, hearing thousands of fans chant such a phrase in unison can be an unnerving experience, a reminder that they are deep in enemy territory. For Gamrot, however, it was anything but intimidating. The Polish fighter, known for his composure and professionalism inside and outside the octagon, responded to the moment with calmness and confidence. Rather than letting the chant shake him, he smiled, waved to the crowd, and even appeared to enjoy the intense energy radiating from the Brazilian faithful. His relaxed demeanor quickly drew respect from many observers, who praised his ability to remain composed amid such a hostile environment. Witnesses at the media workout noted how the atmosphere inside the gym was electric. The Brazilian fans, waving flags and chanting for Oliveira, created a wall of sound that could have easily thrown a lesser experienced fighter off his game. Yet Gamrot, often referred to by fans as Gamer for his focus and cool-headed approach, handled the situation like a seasoned veteran. He shadowboxed, hit pads with sharp precision, and continued to smile throughout the workout, showing no signs of pressure despite the crowd's chants echoing around him. This reaction speaks volumes about Gamrot's mindset going into the fight. He's well aware that facing Ciryl Oliveira in Brazil is not just a test of skill but also a test of mental strength. Oliveira is a national hero, beloved by fans for his humility, charisma, and record-breaking achievements inside the octagon. Going up against him on his home soil, especially in front of a crowd as vocal as Rio de Janeiro's, is one of the toughest challenges any fighter can face. But Gamrot has never been one to back down from a challenge. His career has been built on perseverance, discipline, and resilience. From his days as a two-division champion in KSW prelude to his rise in the UFC's lightweight division, Gamrot has shown time and again that he thrives under pressure. The way he handled the Brazilian champ was yet another example of his poise, a sign that he's not just prepared for the physical battle but also for the mental warfare that comes with fighting on enemy ground. As fight night approaches, one thing is clear: while the Brazilian crowd may try to rattle him with their traditional "up by Mora" chant, Mateusz Gamrot is walking into the octagon with a smile, respect for his opponents, and an unshakable belief in his own abilities. Move on to another news. Former UFC light heavyweight champion Jamal Hill has shared his reaction to Alex Pereira's spectacular knockout victory over Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 320, offering high praise for the Brazilian superstar despite their own history of rivalry inside the octagon. In a recent video posted to his YouTube channel, Hill spoke candidly about Pereira's performance, calling him inspiring and even declaring him the biggest star in MMA right now. Hill began by acknowledging just how impressive Pereira's win was, emphasizing that it's impossible not to respect the Brazilian's journey and success. "Shout out to him," Hill said. "This dude is impressive. You can't not be a fan of what he does and what he represents." The former champion went on to reflect on a powerful moment that resonated with him, something Pereira said during the pre-fight face-off: "I don't want to go back to the tire shop." For Hill, those words carried deep meaning. "Anybody that came from nothing and grinded to get to this point feels that," he explained. "They feel that struggle, that hunger, that drive to never go back to where they were when they were dreaming of being where they are now." Hill's empathy came from experience. Like Pereira, he too understands the sacrifices and relentless determination required to reach the pinnacle of the UFC. Hill continued by describing the electric energy inside the arena on fight night. He was in attendance, surrounded by other light heavyweight contenders, and witnessed firsthand the moment Pereira landed the devastating knockout that sealed his victory. "You could feel the energy when he won," Hill said. "He set everything on fire. It was incredible to witness." He praised Pereira not only for his athleticism and knockout power but also for what he represents to the sport at large. "He's keeping the division alive, keeping it exciting," Hill noted. "Having the biggest star in the sport right now in your division does nothing but motivate you." According to Hill, Pereira's rise to superstardom has reignited the hunger and competitiveness within the light heavyweight division. Hill went on to mention that several top 205-pound fighters were present that night, including Carlos Ulberg, Yuri Prochazka, and Khalil Rountree, among others. He described how watching Pereira's victory seemed to fuel everyone's ambitions. "You could see the fire," he said. "It lit a fire under everybody, guys who weren't fighting that night, guys who were just watching. Everybody's ready now. The division is hungry again." To Hill, Pereira's influence extends beyond wins and losses. "It's about inspiration and leadership. We're in a very good spot," he added. "I'm happy for it. It's motivating to see someone at the top doing what he's doing and pushing everyone else to rise to that level." Despite once being rivals, Pereira famously defeated Hill to capture the light heavyweight crown. Hill's words were full of respect and admiration. His reaction showcased not just the camaraderie among elite fighters but also the recognition of greatness when it appears. For Hill, Pereira's story of resilience, dedication, and success is one that embodies the spirit of mixed martial arts and one that continues to drive the division forward. Move on to another news. Former UFC heavyweight contender Alexander Volkov has shared his thoughts on the potential clash between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane, offering a balanced and insightful analysis of both fighters. Speaking in a recent interview, the Russian heavyweight, who has faced both men inside the octagon, explained why he believes the matchup is as close as it gets, calling it a 50-50 fight. "Both of them are good," Volkov said. "Ciryl Gane is really good with his movement, with his legs, and with everything. He's not so bad at grappling now. He's been working a lot on his grappling and his ground skills, so I think it's 50-50. Volkov went on to elaborate on how preparation and mindset could determine the outcome. "It depends on how the fight starts and how both of them will be prepared for this fight," he added. "I saw that Gane will be very motivated for this fight to get the belt. It's 50-50, but on paper, when I fought both of them, Tom Aspinall looked better. But in the fight, it could go any way." Volkov's assessment carries weight, given his first-hand experience competing against both top contenders. He faced Tom Aspinall in 2022, headlining UFC Fight Night 204 in London. That night, Aspinall showcased his elite skill set, finishing Volkov in the very first round via armbar submission. The victory marked a major statement for the British heavyweight, proving he was not only fast and powerful but also technically proficient on the ground, a rarity for someone his size. After defeating Volkov, Aspinall continued his rise through the division with an impressive 4-fight win streak. His victories included a notable stoppage over former title contender Sergey Pavlovich, solidifying his reputation as one of the most well-rounded and dangerous fighters in the heavyweight division. His mix of speed, agility, and finishing instinct has led many analysts to consider him the future of the heavyweight class. Ciryl Gane, on the other hand, has long been praised for his fluid striking and movement attributes not commonly seen in heavyweights. Known for his technical precision and tactical approach, Gane made history as one of the most athletic fighters in the division. However, his grappling deficiencies have often been questioned, especially following his losses to Jon Jones Jones and Francis Ngannou. Volkov, however, believes Gane has made significant improvements in that area.
He's been working on it, Volkov emphasized. He's not the same fighter he was a year or two ago. Volkov also touched on the controversy surrounding his own fight with Gane in December 2024.
That bout ended in a split decision win for Gane, but many fans and analysts believed Volkov had done enough to earn the victory. The decision was so disputed that UFC President Dana White reportedly apologized to Volkov afterward, acknowledging the questionable judging. For Volkov, that experience gives him a unique perspective on both fighters. While he believes Aspinall appeared more complete when they fought, he acknowledges that in a live contest, especially with the stakes as high as a UFC title, anything can happen. On paper, Tom looked better, he concluded, but fights aren't fought on paper.
It could go either way.
With both Aspinall and Gane improving in key areas, Volkov's even-handed analysis paints the picture of a truly unpredictable matchup, one that could define the future of the heavyweight division.
Move on to another news. Carlos Ulberg has expressed his disapproval of Yuri Prochazka's behavior during the UFC 320 main event between Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev, saying he found the Czech fighter's actions strange and disrespectful toward the athletes preparing to compete. Prochazka, who was coming off a spectacular victory earlier that evening, made headlines when his emotional reaction to Pereira's knockout win went viral on social media. However, according to Ulberg, it wasn't just the post-fight celebration that caught his attention, it was Prochazka's conduct before the main event even began. Ulberg, fresh off his own knockout victory over Dominic Reyes the previous weekend in Perth, attended UFC 320 in Las Vegas to observe the action and, as he later admitted, to stake his claim for a title shot. During his recent appearance on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, the New Zealander explained what rubbed him the wrong way about Prochazka's behavior cageside.
"Yeah, I mean, he came in after his fight, as he should," Ulberg said. "He had a great win, and if he hadn't shown up, people would have wondered what he was doing, so it made sense that he was there." However, Ulberg continued, "It was what happened next that seemed off. He came in and started acting a little, well, weird, as he usually does. That's just his style, I guess, but he stood right in front, pretty much blocking a lot of us who were watching. As the main event fighters were walking out, he was just standing there, right in front of them, instead of giving them space." Ulberg made it clear that he found this behavior unnecessary, especially considering the tension and focus required before a high-stakes title fight.
"I just thought, let the boys do their thing," he said. "They're about to go into battle. They need to focus and get in the zone. It's not the time for someone else to be standing front and center, taking the spotlight away. You should sit back, let them have their moment, and respect what's about to happen." The city kickboxing standout added that while he understands Prochazka's eccentric personality and unique demeanor, he still believes there's a time and place for everything. "That's just who Yuri is," Ulberg admitted. "He's a little different, a little unpredictable, but at the same time, when fighters are making that walk, that's their moment. It's about respect. You don't step in front of that." Prochazka, known for his unorthodox personality and samurai-inspired mindset, often carries himself with a mix of calm spirituality and explosive intensity. While many fans appreciate his authenticity, Ulberg's comments highlight how other fighters may view such behavior differently, especially when it interferes with moments of professional focus. Despite his criticism, Ulberg made sure to keep things respectful, clarifying that he harbors no personal animosity toward Prochazka. "That's his thing," he said. "That's how he operates. It's all good. But for me, I just prefer to give other fighters the respect and space they deserve when they're about to perform." Ulberg's remarks underscore the competitive yet respectful culture that defines the upper ranks of the UFC light heavyweight division, a division now buzzing with activity following Pereira's title defense and several contenders, including Ulberg himself, vying for their shot at championship gold.